Welcome to Cosmic Diaries. This is Priya Kali, your astrologer, and welcome to a passionate, powerful Libra New Moon cycle. So this Libra New Moon took place earlier this morning on the 6th of October at 7:06 a.m. and Pluto stations direct just hours from now. Later this week, Saturn stations direct on the 10th of October. Life is shifting gears and it's time to level up and grow up. Wherever you have Libra in your chart, it's a chance for renewal. It's a chance to reclaim your power as the conscious creator of your life and to reclaim your authority in your life, to make choices. There could be second chances in relationships and situations, reignite a spark or rekindle things, and there is a chance now to rewrite history. But first, this is a chance to deepen your relationship with yourself, and what's unfolding will call for fine balance and self-awareness. New moons will seed the energy for at least 2 weeks at a time. And this new moon is conjunct Mars and Mercury. The new moon is also, this conjunction, triple conjunction, is also a stellium rather, is opposite Chiron and in Aries. So this is a chance now to heal old wounds, to consciously let go of old patterns and make different choices given everything that we've learned. Pluto is now stationing direct at the point in the sky where it first was on the 4th of January. Significantly at the time, notably at the time, Mercury was conjunct Pluto on the 4th of January. And now during this whole retrograde cycle that we're in, Mercury is square Pluto. And this is really the defining aspect of this whole retrograde transit of Mercury. So as you enter this new cycle, we're at a turning point from the beginning of the year of understanding this new territory that we find ourselves in. You're hopefully learning your power in situations, but with power comes responsibility. And Pluto is the lord of the underworld. So Pluto brings up to the surface what's been hidden in the depths and what's been buried in the depths. And in Capricorn, we're now moving past conditioning of society, parental conditioning. So we're redefining what relationships mean to us, what we need from our relationships, what a relationship is supposed to look like, how we communicate in our relationships. We're letting go of mental conditioning surrounding relationships based on what we've seen growing up in our childhood, played out by parents or authority figures. Mercury, mythologically, was able to travel through three worlds, to the heavens, the physical plane, and then to the netherworlds. And now Mercury is squaring Pluto, so it's bringing up a lot of stuff, darker truths that we've not been perhaps aware of, that have been unconscious, subconscious. As you become aware, you can find your power to change things and make new choices or communicate and renegotiate arrangements. So there's a greater understanding. But again, for that, first you have to be honest with yourself, and then it's easier to communicate with others. The Sun will make an exact conjunction to Mars on the 8th of October, and then on the 9th, the Sun and Mercury and Mars will be conjunct. Exact. Truths are crystallizing. There are deep insights coming through, messages, you're learning information, you're coming to realizations, burning truths or undeniable desires that you can't deny or ignore or hide from anymore, or perhaps even just heated emotions. Whoever or whatever is triggering your emotions, sit with them and self-reflect rather than react, because there lies the power to transform. Sun-Mercury conjunction during a retrograde is the midpoint of the Mercury retrograde cycle. And this always brings a crystallization of the energy. And at least you'll have at least one moment of deep clarity or insight or realization or perhaps a conversation that's going to bring home a truth. The truth can hurt sometimes, but be no denial. It's a time to confront your demons and to just be really brutally honest with yourself and take ownership for everything that's unfolding without blaming anyone else. Only then can you find the power to change things. It's like so much has happened this year, and now during this retrograde, we're getting a chance to really, and with Saturn station, Pluto station, this new moon, as the sun meets Mercury, sun meets Mars, Mars meets Mercury, we're really getting a chance to wrap our heads around everything that's unfolded over the course of a year. And as you do, as you reach a new level of understanding within yourself, it'll take some time to integrate what you're learning and find that inner balance again. So, be patient as the truths come in and insights come through. And take time for self reflection. Let there be a balance between your external engagement with the external world and what's unfolding within you in your inner landscape. With that new moon stellium opposite Chiron, what's needed really is awareness. For healing to happen, especially with Chiron in Aries, we're healing childhood trauma. And even if there hasn't been trauma, whatever childhood wounds there are and patterns there are, we're healing those deep patterns. So things that are playing out for you in your present day circumstances are only reflecting a deeper truth to you about yourself, what you need, and how you want to evolve and move forward from here. Libra is the sign that is at the opposite end of the axis from Aries. It is the mirror to the self. So all your relationships are mirroring a truth to you about yourself. Whether you like the truth or don't like the truth, discernment is called for. That's why self-awareness is called for. Because then you know what's a projection and what's true. And if something hurts, then maybe it's time to look a little deeper within yourself. Libra speaks of our relationships. It speaks of balance. It speaks of fairness. It speaks of honesty, justice, truth, and choices. Let's not forget, Saturn is currently stationary, and we're going to get to Saturn in a minute, but we're moving over a major threshold now. And there's a sense of being at a crossroads. So we are facing life-altering choices. Whatever the past has been like, this is a chance to now let it all go. And that means for you to fully embrace the present and to move ahead from here, feeling empowered rather than feeling powerless, is taking ownership. Because consciously or unconsciously, we're always creating our reality. You can't change the past, but it has shaped you into who you are today. And with awareness, this is a chance to reclaim your power, make conscious choices. Because now more than ever, you are shaping your reality with thoughts, words, and deeds. So if you say you want something, then do your actions align with your words? And do you know what you want? Are you sure that's what you want? Or is it what you want because that's what you've been taught to believe that you want or should want? Or because that's what everyone around you seems to have? So there's a lot of introspection that's needed. This is about your integrity. It's not about someone else. If a situation is fraught with tension, there is a chance to heal and build bridges and mend fences now. But again, it requires that we take ownership for our role in situations. Then we can bring something new to the table, rather than expecting someone else to change or be different. This is a chance to be the force of change that you want to see in your world. A situation that you thought was dead and gone, there can be renewal. There's a lot more hope left, and you're not trapped, you're not cornered. You have more options than you may have first imagined. Avoid any temptation to control situations. One of the most important spiritual tools at any given point is non-reaction. Then you can respond to things, because there are truths surfacing now that are not easy to digest. But if you can see everyone in your life as your teacher and see all your relationships in your life as a mirror and recognize ultimately this is about your growth and about your ability to be a better human being and your journey of self-realization ultimately. Because we speak of the universe as oneness, but oneness is not a concept. It is a reality. And even though we see people as in our lives and everything in our life as separated from us, in reality, the separation exists in the mind. We're all made of the same energy. And this physical plane that we're on is, a physical 3D play being played out on the screen of consciousness, which is just pure consciousness. And that's oneness. That's our reality. That's where we come from. And that's, what we are when we leave our physical bodies. So this is a soul level purification that we're experiencing. And we're burning through a lot of karma, for lack of a better word. But I hesitate to use that word because I see it so misused and misinterpreted. The word karma itself means action. And with Libra, when we call it a karmic sign, it's that, actions have consequences. And Saturn, who will station direct, is exalted in Libra, and Saturn is also the planet of karma. So the lessons we are learning now are karmic, but when I speak of karma is not punitive, and it's basically just action and consequence. So nature seeks a balance. That's Libra. That's the natural law of balance, and that's the natural law of karma. And it is our karma that keeps us recycling through lifetimes of birth and rebirth. But through those lifetimes, our soul is undergoing a process of purification on its ultimate journey towards self-realization. And the way to break a karmic cycle is detachment. Detachment from the fruit of your actions. It's about letting go of expectations and recognizing that ultimately you are, immortal spirit in this physical body. But you don't have to die to get that lesson. There can be experiences of transcendence in this human birth. I mean, that's why we have a human birth, ultimately. The only purpose of a human birth, and especially with Pluto and Capricorn. Capricorn is the third earth sign, and it's the sign of material success, but it's also the sign that represents human consciousness and its most evolved state. So with Pluto stationing direct, this is a purification of our consciousness, collectively as well as personally. You're evolving now in your journey. And as you do, your relationships can evolve and find a natural balance. And there is a natural rebalancing of power that's underway now. It's a fine and delicate balance. So it starts with finding that balance within, but which means there's time for action, there's time for integration, there's time for rest, there's time for work. As life happens around you, there will be a need for periods of self-reflection this week to take in everything that's coming through, because there's a lot coming through mostly from inside, maybe from outside, but mostly from inside. And you're becoming aware of what drives you, what motivates you, and what triggers you as well. So if something upsets you this week, or if you feel like you're coming up against a wall, be patient, move slowly, because doors are closing and opening. As we move to the end of the week, Saturn is stationing direct. And Saturn is the planet of gateways and speaks of responsibility. Saturn is the teacher of the zodiac. It teaches us lessons. Above all, Saturn's lessons are of humility and discipline and mastery. If you are humble, then you can be elevated. Saturn is also the planet of time. Move slowly because we're still in the dark about things. And there are doors that are closing and doors that are opening, and time is standing still, and we're at a powerful crossroads. And there's more coming to the surface in these coming days. So a lot is shifting. So don't push. A door that was previously locked is opening. Or you're seeing a new way forward. Or there are new doors opening. It will require a gentle touch. This is a new moon cycle, so pay attention to what you're seeding, what you're initiating, and where you're feeding energy, because what you feed will grow. So if you're caught up in a drama that you're not enjoying, you have the power to disengage and choose something else, rather than blaming someone else or expecting someone else to be different. So Venus, the ruler of Libra in this new moon, is the end of Scorpio at the time of this new moon and enters the anaretic degree just as Pluto stations direct. And Venus will enter Sagittarius on the 7th of October. Venus now has been through her transit in Scorpio. This has been a powerful transformation for our relationships, financial situations, all matters of the heart. This has been a purification of our values, asking us to let go of superficial attachments to what's transient. I mean, everything changes. Even the best of relationships change. People die. Sorry to be morbid, but that's the reality of life, right? And we can't take our money to the grave. So what's valuable in life? And what really survives even death? And that's love. Over the next 2 weeks, surrender to a process of change rather than cling to status quo just because it's familiar and it's what you know. You can allow situations to balance out naturally. Once Venus enters Sagittarius, the energy shifts. So over the first few days, she will also be approaching the South Node. So there's a need to release the past. Sagittarius, like Libra, is all about truth and honesty. But Sagittarius also speaks of wisdom and kindness and compassion. Venus will be in Sagittarius until the 5th of November when she enters Capricorn, and then later in the year she's going to station retrograde in Capricorn. It's above all, in the words of the late great Jonathan Cainer, the most valuable thing you can have is perspective. Over the next 4 weeks, keep the big picture in mind, be wise, and you can find a better way forward. In all your communication, ask yourself, is it kind? Is it helpful? And sometimes, if a truth is not constructive, it might be better to just leave it aside. But on the other hand, sometimes it takes someone who really cares to be honest. Whether you're the one delivering the truth or receiving the truth, be kind, be gentle with. The more you can lead with the heart and listen with the heart and communicate with the heart, you'll know when it's wise to speak and when it's wiser to listen and say nothing at all. This is all about making wise choices, knowing the road that you've already been on, knowing the pitfalls that are already on the road, and then the roads that you're leaving behind. Because we are reaching a fork in the road now. With great power comes great responsibility. It's time to stop giving away our power and then feeling powerless. Choices have consequences, and even no choices have consequences. So whatever you choose, do it with full awareness. And then there can be a real sense of growth. On the 10th of October, Saturn stations direct, and Saturn will station direct at the degree in the sky that it first occupied on the 14th of February. So Valentine's Day, look back to what was unfolding. We're entering a new chapter. This is a chance to rewrite history. Saturn has been in a square to Uranus all year. The first square took place on the 17th of February. The second one was on the 16th of June, and the third one will be on the 25th of December. So we're well past halfway through the year, and we're approaching this final square in December. So really what begins with this new moon now is, it's a lead up to the end of the year. The Saturn-Uranus squares have brought tangible shifts in our lives. We've been turning a corner into a whole new world and whole new territory. So now the first two squares have already given us a glimpse, and Jupiter's ingress into Pisces in the middle of this year between May 14th and the end of July gave us a glimpse into 2022. Now that you've seen what's possible, as Saturn stations direct, this is a chance to make adjustments and to readjust your boundaries and limits and find your integrity above all. You can build on strong foundations now moving forward and shape the course of the coming future with awareness. Embody the lessons that you've learned all through 2021 as you enter this final chapter. At best, there is a chance to get to the bottom of a truth, to recognize our own limits and situations, and then we can go beyond them and acknowledge where there's room for growth, because there's always room for growth. Saturn is all about timing. So again, this is the Libra New Moon, and Libra is asking for that balance. So Libra being a cardinal sign, but then ruled by cardinal signs are signs that initiate. But then it's ruled by Venus, which represents the principle of attraction and receptivity. So there's a balance that's called for, and timing, timing is everything. Next week, with Jupiter and Mercury stationing direct on the same day, there are major realizations coming through over the next 2 weeks. And it's important that you not rush anything, no matter what seems urgent, or if you're feeling pressured to make any decision or make any choices that you're not ready to make. Move slowly. And given the weight of our decisions right now, because we're feeling the weight of our decision, this is about your relationship with authority. Saturn and Jupiter have been transiting Aquarius all year, other than a few months when Jupiter entered Pisces. Saturn and Jupiter are both the teachers of the zodiac. Saturn teaches lessons of discipline and limits and boundaries. Jupiter teaches through expansion and experience and the wisdom that's born of those experiences. So we've learned huge lessons over the past year. Saturn in Aquarius is like this great equalizer. Aquarius is a sign of the collective as well as the individual. And we're learning that no one is greater or lesser than us. We're all equal. And Libra again is teaching us those signs of equality. Above all, Libra's lessons are, unless everyone wins, everyone loses. So we're having to find the balance within to move forward in honesty, with integrity, to play fair. With Pluto stationing direct, it's important that you not compromise your integrity, because then you're on shaky ground. Then you're building, a tower of cards, which is going to fall with the first wind that blows. Even if there are doors closing, there are new doors opening now, showing you a better way forward. Or perhaps there could be a resurrection and a chance to reignite a connection where things might have fallen apart, where there's been a breakdown in communication or whatever it is. You can build bridges. But first, for that, have you grown? How have you grown within yourself? Finally, on the 12th, so Saturn stations direct on the 10th, and then for a couple of days, there are no major aspects taking place in the sky. The planets in the sky is giving us a brief respite to just take in what's coming through. Those days are going to feel like time is standing still. But then the moon reaches the first quarter phase. On the 12th of October, the moon will be in Capricorn, the sun will be in Libra, and this is a chance to this is a turning point halfway point between the new moon in Libra on the 6th and the full moon on the 20th in Aries. So embody the lessons that you're learning. Will call for maturity and making responsible choices. It's a chance to make adjustments, readjust your boundaries, your goals, take stock, and then you can make course corrections where necessary and make adjustments where necessary moving forward. So next week, Jupiter and Mercury will both station direct, and we are moving to a full moon in Aries, a passionate full moon in Aries, and we'll be a month away from the eclipses in November. So a lot more is coming up and the energy is just building. This week, move slowly. With Libra, and Pluto's direct station, this is a beautiful process of metamorphosis. And the more you can shed old skin and let go of old baggage, there can be a beautiful blossoming and unfolding in your life of your spirit and, your life. And certainly wherever you have Libra in your chart, this is a new cycle and a new beginning. Learn your lessons, then you won't replay or recreate destructive patterns and can make different choices. All right, I'm going to stop there for now. I'm going to thank you for watching as always, and I will be back with you next week. Email me at priya@cosmicdiaries.com for a consultation, and sign up at priyakale.com or cosmicdiaries.com for my newsletter. But bye for now. Namaste.